Inflation fears today are rising around the country as we learned there was an estimated 5% jump in the cost of consumer goods in May of this year compared to last year. It's more than what economists were expecting, and it's the biggest jump we've seen since the Great Recession in August of 2008. So, what does all this mean for all of us as we shop for everything from groceries to gas? Alexis Christoforous from Yahoo Finance and Emmy Voss, Public Relations Director for Carfax, thank you, I'm sorry about that, are here to help us get a handle on this. This is a phenomenon, both of you, thanks for being here, that we haven't seen in decades. So, Alexis, what's behind some of these price rises, do you think, like those on everyday household items?
Yeah, you know, Terry, it's definitely alarming and scary to lots of folks to see prices rise so quickly. But when you think about it, we shouldn't be all that surprised. I mean, the economy has basically gone from 0 to 60 seemingly overnight as more people get vaccinated and economies begin to open up more and more. We're seeing people shopping more, dining out more, going to entertainment events, traveling more. And it's all happened so quickly. There is a tremendous pressure right now on our supply chains. There's tremendous demand, and companies are just trying to do their best to keep up with that demand. I mean, we have lots of shipments just sitting in our ports, unable to unload their ships yet because there's such a backlog. And a main reason for this is that we're seeing a supply shortage across the board. You know, the demand we're seeing for housing has caused lumber prices to hit a record high. We're seeing a jump in steel prices as well. And let's not forget, we've got a computer chip shortage, a global shortage we're now dealing with, affecting everything from computer equipment to autos. And we're also having a hard time getting furniture and clothing. If you're like me, I ordered some furniture. I keep getting phone calls. You've got to wait. You've got to wait. We still can't get the supply in. So all of that is causing tremendous pressure on consumers. We're paying more for everything from food to autos. Auto prices, by the way, up more than 7% last month. And lots of luck if you're looking for a rental car. If you can get one, Terry, you're definitely going to be paying a premium.
And Emily, I want to look a little closer at some of those categories that Alexis just mentioned, because when you look at rents, for example, rents went up. We also saw a huge increase in airfare. Food is up 4%. But used cars and trucks, it's like they're in a category almost all their own. Over this time, going up 30%. So when it comes to the used car market, why are people paying so much more there compared to just a year ago?
The short story is exactly what Alexis said. It really is a supply-demand case, right? So there is low supply linked to what Alexis was talking about. With the chip shortage, the new car inventory is scarce. Manufacturers are having a hard time stocking lots with new cars because they're unable to produce these cars without the chips. And we see huge consumer demand, right? So people who may have historically bought a new car are now looking at used vehicles, especially those recent model year vehicles as well. But dealers cannot stock their lots fast enough. They get a car in, it sells right away. And here's the thing, we're seeing this huge increase, almost 30%, but consumers are willing to pay those prices for the used cars right now. So it's really historic. We've never seen used car prices this high. And the fact that the inventory is so hard to come by, people are just not selling or trading in their vehicles right now, because a lot of us, if we sell or trade, have to turn around and buy, right? And the prices are just very high. And we've talked to dealers who've been in this business for decades, and they say they've never seen anything like this.
And Alexis, what role is government spending playing in all this? There's a lot of concern, especially among Republicans, that the big trillion-dollar bills that the president has signed and wants to sign could be fueling inflation. What do you think?
That's definitely part of the equation, Terry. We got those stimulus checks and that added unemployment coming to millions of folks. Some of that now is starting to dry up, but there's been so much pent-up demand that now that folks have a little bit more money, wages are now starting to rise. You're seeing them go out and spend sort of, without abandon. And that is causing the pressure that we're seeing on these prices. And, I also want to point out that food prices in particular, which affect all of us, going up nearly 0.5% last month. And major companies, including Coca-Cola, General Mills, Hormel, Chipotle, have either all raised prices already or they're promising to raise prices. And one of the reasons why might be a good reason. They actually have to raise wages to attract more workers. And that means that we're going to start seeing some wage pressure, some wage inflation starting to bubble up this year.
So, Alexis, does all of this, you think, point to a temporary or longer-term problem? And should we start to expect interest rates to go up to make up for it?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? At least the Federal Reserve keeps saying that they think this inflation jump is going to be temporary. Fed Chairman Jay Powell keeps using the word transient. And you can buy into that a little bit because you think, wow, we've bounced back so quickly from that near shutdown of our country during the pandemic that prices just spiked up, right? The fastest rise we've seen in 13 years. But as we all start to open up more and things get back to normal, those prices should either remain where they are. That's the good news, probably not come down. But a lot of experts say they don't expect those prices to rise much more in the fall and the winter. So we could see inflation start to level off after the summer.
Let's hope. And Emily, third time's the charm. I got your name right finally. So for those consumers who are out there thinking about buying a car, what should they know? Do you see prices cooling off in that industry anytime soon?
Well, there's a couple of factors that play in there. The rental car market that was mentioned, the chip shortage with new vehicles, and the consumer demand. So our analysts are saying they expect it to at least last through the summer months, but there are some of those factors that could even last into 2022. So it'll be interesting to watch, but it's not changing in the next couple of weeks here. They do expect it to last through the summer months. If you are looking to buy a used car, we recommend broadening your search. So a lot of us get very focused in, we know what color, year, make, model we want. If you can be a little more broad in the search and maybe open, maybe you want an SUV with a third row, but you're not set on a color or a make, that will give you a lot more options to be able to find something in inventory in the area surrounding you that is a good price, and you just want to not skip steps. So I think we feel a lot of pressure. It's like the housing market situation where it becomes very competitive. People are moving really quickly, but you still want to do your due diligence. Research that vehicle as far as the history, because nothing impacts value more than history. So check the Carfax report, take it for that independent inspection. I can't recommend this enough. Get a trained mechanic to look at it and take it for a test drive. You want to do all three of those things so that you can make sure there aren't surprises. If you're already paying these record prices, you don't want to have surprises down the road about a vehicle because you didn't do your due diligence before you purchased it. Also worth noting, if you happen to be one of those people that has an extra car sitting around that they can get by without for a few months, it's a great time to sell, especially if you have a truck. Truck prices are up about 44% from where they were the same time last year.
Great news. All right, Emily Voss and Alexis Christoforous, got both your names right there. Thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.